Why
but
not?
you guys really
And
need to
also
keep this a
still
secret.
being
Promise
anonymous.
me
So,
you won't tell anyone.
enjoy that poster.
This isn't marketing related, but okay, I guess.
Sure, dude. Please don't tell me you were the sicko
Oh,
who
you
took
can
that
have
pic.
this.
I didn't. I actually got the photo from the dark web. Dude, you go on the dark web?
What's the dark web?
Actually, I'm gonna keep this.
Supposedly, it's this hidden part of the internet where you can buy illegal stuff. I personally wasn't that educated about the dark web, but I did hear rumors about it growing up. I've always acknowledged the existence of these kinds of things growing up, but I was still unaware as to what potential atrocities lie within the online world. Eric then says, yeah, I just recently started getting into it. I found the photo from one of the forums I came across called Homemade Dolls. Here's the full-size picture. He then sends us the exact same photo, except this time it had a description box next to it with the title, Doll Number 20. Why the hell, of all people, did I have to be in a group project with this weirdo? The details in the description stated inhumane acts that can be performed on the victims before being shipped to their buyers. I felt pretty disgusted reading the dialogue, but I was still somewhat skeptical about the whole thing. It was hard to deny its legitimacy, though. The authenticity of the image looked too real to be a hoax.
To be honest, this looks photoshopped.
I don't know. It looks pretty real to me. Dude, that's disgusting. Why do you even go on sites like that? Well, I only go on it occasionally. Break! Sorry. Midway through Eric's sentence, a random user joins the video chat. Who's that? I don't know. I swear to God, we better not be getting hacked.
Eric, is this one of your stupid friends from the dark web? I'm gonna call the cops if it is.
That's when I decide to move my mouse cursor to exit the video chat. Why the hell isn't this working? Come on, work, goddammit! My cursor was resisting to move no matter how many times I clicked or moved my mouse. That's when the random user's video turned on. It was a guy wearing a pig mask. The mask didn't look like some dollar store knockoff. It looked like the skinned face of an actual pig. He wore it like he was Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Hey, is anybody seeing what I'm seeing? Eric, dude, I really hope this isn't a stupid prank. It's not, dude. I don't even know who that is. Why is there a guy wearing a pig mask on my screen?
Guys, what's going on?
I don't know why, but something about that moment, I just knew. I was looking into the eyes of what true evil looks like. That's when my classmate's video chat completely froze. The only screen functioning was the pigman's. It seemed like our computers were being hijacked. I couldn't quite comprehend what was going on until I heard the pigman say, "Can you see me? Say yes if you can hear me." Say it! I reply with, "Yes, what do you want from me?" in an uncontrollable stutter. You know that feeling you get when you're with someone for so long? Every single day just drags and becomes a routine. Well, I just want something new and fresh, you know? Something vibrant that will make me feel alive again. I just need a new doll. What do you say? Does it sound like a brilliant plan to you? I was completely appalled by what was transpiring. That's when I hear a muffled female's voice in the background. The pigman then swivels the camera towards the direction of the muffled voice, only to reveal a woman with no arms and legs. She had duct tape on her mouth and a chain bound around her neck. The woman was flailing her severed arms wildly in a desperate attempt to escape. A couple seconds later, the pigman approaches her while holding an axe, the kind of axe lumberjacks use to chop down trees. I began to hyperventilate as I knew the inevitable fate this woman was about to endure. He then raises the axe up in the air. I begin screaming from the top of my lungs, "Leave her alone or I'm calling the cops!" As I took my last glance at the woman, I realized that it was the same woman in the photo that Eric sent. That's when the pigman smashes the axe against the woman's skull repeatedly. I practically leap up from my chair and begin to vomit. This sadistic display was unbearable. What the hell is is going on? Someone tell me I'm dreaming. There's no way this is real. I look back on the screen, only to see nothing. Like the whole thing was just a bad dream, or a figment of my imagination. What the hell just happened? I know I'm not going crazy. I immediately messaged my classmates in the group chat saying, please tell me you guys saw all of that. Did any of you see the pig man? We need to report him. Yeah, I briefly saw him, but then my video chat ended.
Same here. That was weird as hell.
Must have been a hacker. Thank God my screen went back to normal. Did you see anything, Terrence? I respond as nonchalantly as I can, saying, yeah, basically what you guys saw. I think it's best that we just put this behind us and move on from here, you know? I didn't know if that was the right decision. I didn't want to further escalate the situation. Acknowledging the pigman's existence was one thing, but going into further detail about afterwards just felt unnecessary. This is the part where I wish the story ends. It's been a year since the incident. I ended up dropping out and taking the semester off due to the mental trauma I endured. I now work at a local retail store. I was coming home from work one day and I saw an envelope sitting in my mail slot. I open it and discover the most horrifying thing that sends shivers down my spine. It was a picture of my classmate Cindy, except she had no legs and no arms. The picture was titled Doll Number 21.
I think so dramatic because baby. Just a dead person. Oh, need a new thing. Diggity boop. Boopity bop boop boopity boop.
Talked nicely.
It was my last day being a senior in high school. The year was 2016. The creepy clown phenomenon was in full swing. Creepy clowns seemed to be popping up all over the world. Most clown cases were harmless and just pranks. I was looking forward to signing yearbooks and saying my goodbyes to close friends. Who knew that my day was about to change in a way I could never imagine? Word got around that two seniors, Trevor and Noah, were planning a prank. They were the class clowns of our class, no pun intended. I received word that they were going to dress up as killer clowns and terrorize the teachers. I instantly thought it was a bad idea, but I wasn't against some good entertainment. I tried to find more information about the prank, but the only thing that kept coming up was fourth period lunch. I assumed that's when the shenanigans would start. Fourth period of lunch started. There was no sign of clowns. Finally, I saw a clown. He was just outside the main cafeteria doors, hiding behind a statue of our school mascot. His appearance was so creepy. I was really impressed. I didn't really think Trevor or Noah would be that creative. One by one, students began to notice the clown.
For a while.
Most of the guys thought it was amusing. Some girls, however, were fearful and started crying. I looked out one of the side windows and saw another clown. This had to be it, I thought. There they are, Trevor and Noah. It was right then that I saw two more clowns. They were hiding behind support poles in front of the cafeteria. I thought this was weird, but I just assumed more people had to be in on the prank.
God damn it, leave me. Oh, you want to play with that, huh?
I'll
make your
classic
deck more
Trevor and
painful.
Noah, always taking things too far. The school's PA system came on over the loudspeaker. Code black, Follow full lockdown procedures. Repeat, code black. I wondered if I should tell one of the teachers about the prank. I thought this was getting out of hand and was going too far. Right then, the back door to the cafeteria busted open. It was Trevor and Noah. They were in their normal school clothes. They both had a ghostly white look across their face. Both were also drenched in sweat. Noah screamed, "Killer clowns! They're everywhere!" Half the cafeteria was dead silent. Another half laughed and thought this was a complete joke. Trevor said, "This is not a joke. Clowns chased us with real knives." I glanced outside again. There were 2 clowns at the main cafeteria doors. Both were wielding knives. They slowly dragged their knives across the glass. Based on the loud screeching sound the knives made, I had no doubt they were real. I looked at both side exits, and clowns were there as well. There was no way out. I started to get nervous. Everyone was in disbelief as to what was happening. The door that Noah and Trevor ran through swung open again. I thought to myself, what idiots for not locking the door behind them. It was a creepy clown. His outfit and face paint was exactly like Pennywise from the movie It.
I'm really considering just activating cheats, making it always day so I can actually have fun, but what's the fun in that?
He began laughing in a high-pitched voice, almost as if he was crazed. I heard a loud rumbling noise. A huge SWAT emergency response vehicle pulled up right in front of the cafeteria. The creepy clown in the cafeteria dropped his knife and ran. The other clowns bolted as well. Only one clown ended up getting arrested, and it was a senior from a rival high school. I hope no one's last day of high school is as creepy.
Tucked nicely.
A beep jolted me back to reality as I realized I'd once again fallen asleep in my chair. I opened my eyes, only to be immediately blinded by the immense brightness emitted from the computer screen. Another beep sounded. It was the all-too-familiar notification sound, alerting me to a message. "Hello?" The first message said. "Alex?" The second read. I broke the sleep out of my eyes as I tried to remember what I'd been engaged in prior to falling asleep. But in place of memories, I had nothing but a blank space. I reached out to turn the brightness down, trying to recall whether or not I'd been drinking alcohol the night before. Only then did I realize that the clock on the computer read 12:03 p.m., meaning I'd slept all the way through
and a
midday.
trident pause.
But before I could worry about having lost half a day's work, another beep snapped my attention back to the computer. "Please, are you still there?" it read. I peeked at the username. It was someone named LemonCake34, a seemingly auto-generated name. By the look of the microscopic profile picture, it was a man close to my own age. Based on the length of the chat, we'd been talking for quite some time. If that was the case, why couldn't I remember him? My head ached as I tried to figure out where we'd left off. The only clue I had was the unbelievably long chat log with a stranger I couldn't remember meeting. Before even thinking about responding to his latest message, I decided to scroll through the history to get a glimpse into the time I'd lost. According to the text, we'd been talking about everything from music to movies to personal life experiences. He was a stranger, sure, but we'd definitely become acquainted during our chat. Then I turned to my bedroom window. It was oddly dark outside, considering the time was supposed to have passed midday. Even with the blinds shut, at least a hint of daylight should have made its way inside. I wanted to stand up to figure out what was going on, but before I could, another message from LemonCake34 popped up. "Please, man, I'm scared. Don't leave me alone here." The window would have to wait. I redirected my attention to the chat with a head full of unanswered questions. "What's going on?" I asked. "Thank God you're still there. I don't know what to do. I tried to call for help, but there's no signal. I can't open any other web pages. This is all that works. Please help." Stuck where? What happened? I
I asked, just as confused as before. But my eyes kept wandering over to the dark window. The time wasn't wrong. I could easily enough confirm that by checking my phone or wristwatch. It was just past midday, but that didn't change the fact that not a single ray of sunlight managed to get through the thin blinds. By all means, it looked like night had forgotten to fade as the sun rose. "You don't remember?" he asked in the chat. "No. I just kind of woke up in my chair. I can't even remember what we talked about before I fell asleep. Was I drinking or something?" While I waited for another response, I scrolled back up again. We'd been talking about video games around 2 in the morning. It was a pretty hectic discussion about which game was better, but it had abruptly ended at exactly 2:31 a.m., leaving nothing but hours of emptiness before I was jolted awake again. Through the scroll, I also learned that Lemon Cake 34's real name was Dylan. I passed out too. I just woke up 20 minutes ago, and I don't know what to do. About 10 hours had passed between our conversation and his current frantic calls for help. Still, with the little information I had about him, I wasn't exactly sure what I could do.
Oh, God.
What seemed even stranger was the fact that he'd waited around for me rather than just leaving his house. Was he trapped? "Can't you call the police or something?" I asked. "There's no signal. Can you try, please?" I instinctively pulled out my phone, not really knowing what I'd even say if I could get a hold of them. What should I ask for? Police? Ambulance? Where should I send them?" I asked in a storm of questions. "I don't give a just tell them we need help." "We?" I typed in as an inexplicable sinking feeling formed in my stomach. "You really don't have any idea what's going on? Just look out the window." Again, I looked at the unnaturally dark window. Just the sight of it sent shivers down my spine. I should have checked it out already, but I distracted myself with the chat, not because I wanted to, but because I was afraid to look outside into the darkness. After what felt like an eternity of hesitation, I got up from my chair and walked with slow, nervous steps towards the window. Once there, I opened the blinds and looked through the unobstructed windows. There was nothing there. By nothing, I don't mean that the view was insignificant or normal. I mean it in the more literal sense that nothing was there. The only thing I could observe through the window was an empty void of darkness that had consumed everything that once existed in the neighborhood, from the house, the street, and even my own front yard. I took a few steps back in a mixture of awe and absolute panic. I wanted to run, but where to? I didn't know. So I followed my instincts and tried to rush out the door. It was locked. I hammered on it, trying to kick it in, but it wouldn't budge. In a way, it felt as if the room behind the door had been filled with concrete, because no matter how hard I kicked it, it didn't move a single inch. Then I heard another 3 beeps coming from the computer, signifying that yet more messages had come through, all from Dylan. "Well, what did you see? Are you still here? Come on, I need your help." I sat back down with trembling fingers and typed in a response. "What the hell is happening? There's nothing outside. Where did everything go?" I asked. "I don't know. I tried calling the police. I tried messaging someone, but nothing goes through. You are all I have left," he said. "I can't even open the door," I typed in, feeling defeated. "It wouldn't help anyway. There's nothing on the other side. You can break it down, but it wouldn't really help us." He paused for a while after that, probably left speechless by the predicament we shared. For a moment, I just sat there listening to the deafening silence. All the sounds I'd taken for granted, cars driving up and down the streets, people talking, birds chirping, the wind blowing, it was all gone. The mild tinnitus I'd had since my teenage years tripled in intensity in the wake of all sound, making it possible to hear myself think. I needed to escape. "How did this happen?" I finally asked. "We were just chatting about games when the world outside vanished. I didn't even notice at first. There weren't any sounds or loud noises. Everything just kind of anticlimactically vanished. I only noticed because the internet stopped working, cutting off the music I was listening to. Then I noticed the darkness outside. After that, I just kind of passed out. Can't explain it," he said. "You really don't remember that?" "No. It's all blank. I don't even remember talking to you. If not for the chat, I wouldn't even have believed it," I responded. "Doesn't matter. There's really not much to remember. We just need to figure out how to get out of here. Wait, hold on." "What?" I asked. "Oh, God, there's something outside," he typed in. "Outside? You mean in the void?" I asked. "Yes, there's something out there in the dark. I don't know what it is, but it's getting closer." "What does it look like?" I kept asking. "It's just like a red shape. It's really far away, but I think it's getting closer." I took a peek outside the window. There was nothing there on my end, except for the infinite darkness. I rushed back to the computer just in time to see another message pop up. It saw me. It's coming this way. Please, help me. Hide, I futilely suggested, but it was too late. Dylan never responded after that. For the next hour, I sat glued to the computer screen in a hopeless attempt at regaining contact. I kept waiting for an answer that would never come. Whatever he saw out there in the darkness, it had already killed him, and I knew I'd be next. That was 3 days ago. I've since closed the blinds, not daring to look outside should that creature be out there waiting. However, I fear thirst will kill me long before the creature ever gets a chance. I've tried everything in my power to contact the outside world, to no avail. So I'm writing down this story, hoping that once I'm gone, it'll somehow make it back to the real world. I want people to know what happened to me, and what happened to Dylan. I'm going to look outside now. It's time to finally face the being that will end my life.
Need moving and storage solutions? Let 1-800-PACK-RATS real customers tell you about their experience.
Oh my god, I got a lot of fights.
Thanks for watching. You can watch another scary animation here.
Tucked nicely.
Back in January of 2019, I went on a skiing trip in the Swiss Alps with 3 of my good friends from college. We booked a large 4-bedroom cabin in the mountains about a month in advance on Airbnb. When we booked it, the listing said that the basement was off limits. For some reason, the host didn't want us going down there. I didn't think anything out of the ordinary because some people like to keep part of their home private. When we arrived, the cabin looked much larger from what the pictures on Airbnb showed. The place was awesome. It was massive. It had a huge open porch area with a fire pit. Out back was an elevated balcony with a huge outdoor hot tub that had an amazing view of the Swiss Alps. Inside, they had a brick fireplace and a large kitchen area. Right around the corner from the kitchen was a door that led down to the basement. I tried opening it, but it was locked. And then I quickly remembered what the Airbnb listing said about it being off limits. It didn't matter though, because the rest of the cabin was incredible. They even had ping pong, air hockey, and a pool table in their separate entertainment room. My 3 friends and I were so exhausted from the long 2-day trip out there, so we ended up going straight to bed the first night. The bedroom I stayed in was right next to the door to the basement. At around 2 in the morning on the first night, I was woken up from a sound sleep by a strange scratching sound, followed by soft groaning. I had never heard anything like it. I heard the sound coming from behind the basement door, but as soon as I stood next to the door, the sound stopped. I decided to shut all the lights off and stood at the side of the door, waiting for it to start up again. It must have been about 15 minutes before something chilling happened. All of a sudden, I began to hear the same disturbing scratching noise again. This time, the soft groaning turned into weeping and crying. It sounded as if someone was trying to escape from the basement. I didn't know what to think because we were just guests in this Airbnb. But at the same time, we thought we were alone. This was new information to me, and I had to let my friends know about what I heard. The next morning, I told them what had happened. They didn't believe me at first, until the next night when they decided to get up at 2 a.m. with me to hear what was going on. It was happening again. The same exact sounds of scratching and weeping from the night before. Now my friends believed me after hearing it for themselves. One of my friends, Trevor, suggested that we knock on the door to see what happens. thought this was a terrible idea because we had absolutely no idea what was down there, and judging by the sounds, it was not good. We couldn't think of another way of finding out what it was. We still had 4 more nights at this place, so we needed a solution, or else we wouldn't be able to sleep the rest of the trip, knowing something is in the basement.
A little fucking person
We decided to go
trapped into the
Trevor's
basement.
plan of
Like,
knocking on the
I
door.
wonder how we're gonna
But
sleep. Help me!
we found
Like, can you shut
objects
up? I'm
around
trying
the
to
cabin
think.
that
How are
we
we going
could
to
use
sleep
as
with this
weapons
annoying girl?
just in
Did she
case
call me annoying?
something
But
bad happened. We braced ourselves for the worst as Trevor loudly knocked. Immediately, we heard footsteps racing down the basement staircase.
Kleenex Soothing Lotion, made with coconut oil, vitamin E, and aloe. Nourish with Kleenex Soothing Lotion.
And then, complete silence. Now we knew something strange was going on. We
what
waited
the
about
is
5
this?
minutes, and nothing.
Do I
Couldn't
have to
hear
look it up?
anything.
Don't need sleep.
Trevor went ahead and knocked a second time.
I don't need aqua.
But this
I'll keep
time,
it and put it in
instead
my
of
stuff.
racing down the staircase, something was racing up it. The footsteps were so fast. They got louder and louder with every step. We all stepped back from the door just in time as the door flew open right in front of our faces. All the lights were off, so we could hardly see anything. Right after the door flew open, we saw a dark, long-haired figure scurry quickly through the cabin right in front of us. It bolted towards the front door. I yelled, "Hey, what are you doing?" Just as the dark figure opened the door into the frigid cold, it looked back at me. This time, the porch lights allowed us to see everything. Behind its long dark hair, we saw its face, about the same color as the snow outside. Its eyes were bloodshot, and I saw a stream of blood running down the side of its mouth. And then we noticed it was carrying something in its arms. It appeared to be a small child, maybe only a year old. The child's eyes were also bloodshot, and before we could get another word out, it bolted out the door with the child into the freezing cold, leaving the door wide open, letting the freezing air come inside. We immediately slammed it shut, locked it, and then threw as much furniture in front of the door as we could. Whatever that thing was, we did not want it coming back. Trevor started calling the police, and as he was dialing, he saw it staring directly at him through the window at the side of the cabin. Trevor dropped the phone out of shock, and we all ran to the upstairs bedroom and slammed the door shut. The only working phone we could call the police with was now on the downstairs floor. We were stuck inside the upstairs bedroom, and none of us were willing to make a run for the phone. We decided to stay together in there until the morning. None of us wanted to sleep because of what we just witnessed. It seemed as if we just interrupted a witch in the middle of performing one of her witchcraft rituals. The next morning, we slowly walked downstairs together to check if anything was out of place. It looked as if everything was okay. None of us dared to walk down into the basement. We were too afraid of what we might find. We grabbed the phone and called the police to have them inspect the cabin and the basement. We told the officers what had happened the night before. They had a hard time believing us at first until they went down into the basement. We could not believe what they found. Witchcraft symbols, and the carpet was all torn up. It seemed as if the kid had been trying to escape. The police also found multiple syringes covered in blood. It was clearly some sort of witchcraft ritual that we had intervened upon. The police called the host of the Airbnb to inform him about what had happened in his property. The host claimed to have no idea about what was going on in the basement. Then we let the cops know about what the Airbnb listing said about the basement being off limits, because we had a hard time believing it was all a coincidence. To this day, we still don't know what exactly happened that night in the Swiss Alps. After this experience, my friends and I never booked another Airbnb with something off limits. This experience scarred us for life. In the summer of 2018, a couple of my friends from college, Jack and Andrew, went with me on a weekend trip to the Oregon coast. We went to college at UCLA, so it was about a 10-hour drive from where we lived. We heard the Oregon coast was very beautiful during the summer months, and that there was some great nightlife as well. All three of us split an Airbnb right on the beach. It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath Victorian house, all to ourselves for the weekend. It had a huge backyard garden that led right into a thick evergreen forest. Kind of reminded me of the movie Twilight. After settling in, we went out to a local bar and nightclub the first night to have some fun. We all ended up drinking too much that night. Jack and Andrew both brought girls back with them to the Airbnb.
Woo!
They're both really good with the ladies, so this was no surprise. When we got back, Jack and his lady friend went right up to his room, while Andrew and his girl ended up making out on a swing in the backyard garden. I had a great girl waiting for me back at UCLA, so I spent the night alone, just trying to block out the sounds of Jack and his girl down the hall from me. Finally, I was able to fall asleep. After about an hour of some deep sleep, I was abruptly woken up by a girl screaming at the top of her lungs. It was 3 in the morning, so I was pissed. And then I heard someone running up the stairs of the Victorian home. It was Andrew. He came running down the hall and banged on my door as if he had just witnessed the zombie apocalypse. He yelled, "Dude, get up. You need to come down to the garden right now." I had never heard this kind of panic in Andrew's voice before. I immediately knew something really bad happened. I threw some clothes on and ran down to the backyard garden. Andrew's girl was just standing there in tears, hyperventilating and pacing back and forth. Andrew slowly led me to a spot behind the swing. It was the same swing they were making out on earlier in the night. Andrew looked at me and said, "Brace yourself, man. You need to see what's back there." He turned his phone light on to light up the ground next to me. I looked down. All I saw were leaves everywhere from the surrounding trees. "Are you messing with me, man?" I asked. "I really wish I was," he replied. I took a second look down as Andrew shined the light at what appeared to be a human foot. My heart began to race and my hands got all sweaty. I was on the brink of freaking out. All I could see was the foot. Everything else was covered.
At Perfect Snacks, we believe that what makes a home is the love and food that fills.
What's going on, YouTube? Wendy's Fast Food here, and in today's video we are on part 11 of trolling Jonathan Galindo accounts. If you're new around here, make sure to like and subscribe, otherwise you're a simp and you did not pass the live check. Make sure to check out the frog merch link in the description. Also, join my Discord server. We host events and you can be in a video. Yay! Hello.
Hey, want to play a game?
Only if it's free.
It's free.
Okay, let me play.
Sign up.
Okay, done.
You did not sign up.
I did.
No, you did not.
I did.
Not. Okay, anyways, mission 1. Get a knife.
Missions? GTA? Bet.
No,
Oh.
in real life.
Oh, okay.
Mission 1. Get a knife.
Got the knife.
Okay, now cut your arm and put F25 on it.
Isn't it supposed to be 57?
25.
Okay, done.
Show me.
What do I show you?
Your arm. Show your arm.
Hey, bro, watch your jet. Watch your jet, bro. Watch your jet!
What jet? I'm talking about your arm.
Alright. Gamer frog.
Kinda fresh. Do my mission though.
Why?
Cause I have your IP.
What is it?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
5 hours later.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Fakest IP ever.
You live in the USA, don't you? Jack.
OMG. You weren't joking. I'm sorry.
Yes. Now do my mission. Cut F25 in your arm.
Why, though?
Cause I said. And I'll show your IP to everyone. You can get hacked and stuff.
Bro, who are you?
I'm Jonathan Galindo.
Who?
Jonathan Galindo.
Asked.
You think this is funny?
Oh, so guys, in the mail today, I literally just received my play button for
So you want to die?
passing
Hey,
one
watch this.
subscriber.
Get nade. Lol.
Are
See,
you
guys?
about?
Sorry, my hands are super large. This is such a normal play button. Don't worry.
Okay. Sending your info off.
This is your second time trying to IP log me.
What's an IP logger?
Hey, yo. Sheriff Frog.
Stop it.
I'm enjoying this.
I'm not. You do realize your IP has been sent to 1.8 million users who are now brute forcing you. Little
Okay, then. Now what?
in a plunger
Yes.
and suction your eyeballs out.
No, that is so dumb.
No, I'm serious.
Guess what?
A man has fallen into the river in Lego City. Start a new rescue helicopter.
Stop it. Do my task now.
Finish.
I don't have time to play right now.
Charges dismissed against this Buffalo op who shoved an elderly man. Oh, by the way, this was on film. Yep, this is just, we gotta look out for our own even when they do wrong. No, you don't. They're people just like all of us, and they need to follow all of the same rules. What's going on, Modern Chodes? It's your boy Long Nail, back again with another new video, and in today's video, we're going over the hot post from r/I am a total POS. Let's get into it. Creek found Japanese pop star after tracking her down by identifying a train station that was reflected in her eyeball in one of her social media selfies. Wow, this dude has way too much time and was trying way too hard, and this is really creepy. Like, this isn't even just glasses. No. This is literally the reflection in her eyeball. Wow, this is sketchy. It just shows when somebody's really dedicated, what they can do. Elderly woman passes after receiving the vax in Los Angeles. But then here's the actual article once you click on it. A 78-year-old woman passes at California vax site after being inoculated. She passed. Oh, well, guess what? It's not because of the vax. Dude, this is the most clickbait title ever. Like, this isn't even remotely the same. She just happened to pass and also got the vax. Bruh, NBC, come on, what are you doing? Taking the keys out while your boyfriend is driving. Yeah, this chick literally took the keys out of the ignition while this man was driving his car, and guess what? They proceeded to crash. Yeah, I bet she's regretting that one a little bit, but how did this even happen? I didn't think you could take your keys out while the car was on and, like, in drive. I don't know. It seems like there should be some sort of safety feature to prevent this. This is for those of you who don't think that CSX watches locomotives. We wash every one of them that comes through the shop that is scheduled for maintenance. They just don't come clean. To the person who viewed this post and decided to report it to CSX Labor Relations or my boss, whichever it was, I want you to know that I have worked for them for 13 years and 7 months, and today I was walked off the property pending an investigation, and I will most likely never work for them again. I'm not an avid poster on here, but Saturday, after I soaped this locomotive down and was allowing the soap to soak,
this game
I
is
took
so
this
bad.
picture to bring a little joy to some of the members on
Yeah,
here.
the water
not
just
thinking
doesn't do anything.
of it.
That's totally
Apparently,
yeah,
it was
7.
against company
I had 30
policy.
levels. Yeah, game. You're
Ever
so
took it
fair
upon
making it so
themselves to
that,
decide I was doing something
yeah, you get some
when in
stuff
fact
back.
it
You
was
get some
totally
levels back.
innocent.
Don't worry.
And in my downtime,
It's not anything,
I
but
hope
don't
you're
worry.
happy
Don't
with
worry.
yourself. Yep, and they
Fucking
probably are happy
retarded
with
game. I
themselves.
can't wait
Seeing
when
this post, they're
Fortnite
like,
wins
oh,
again.
you broke the rules, so you deserve it. And this is the most ridiculous rule ever. He was literally just sharing a photo saying he's proud of his job and he enjoys what
Basically
he
only
does.
playing this game because it's popular.
And somebody's like, oh, well, I know I can ruin that. Let's go do that. And then this man posted it, and they're probably like, got him, Yeah, you suck. 84-year-old Thai grandfather pushed over and passes by an unprovoked teen in San Fran. Wow. Just for no reason, you just walk up to somebody and go, you know, it'd be funny knocking him over. Whoops, he hit his head and now he's not with us anymore?
Where is he?
Not my problem, I'm just gonna run off. Like, you can't do that, dude. First off, you shouldn't just be pushing people for no reason, regardless, but especially 84-year-old old men. Dude, get your life together. I don't have any words to say. That's okay, I've got a few. Hey, Dum-Dum, there's a reason that there's striped lines there, right next to the handicap spot. Because, guess what? You're not supposed to park there. Oh, but it's just an empty space. I mean, I see people get out and walk all the time. Yeah, some people, others, need a wheelchair ramp, which is why there's spaces left on either side of these handicap spots. I can't believe some people are really this inconsiderate and lazy that they go, well, I'm not going to park 5 spots back because, you know what? That inconveniences me. And, you know I can walk, but I mean, I really don't even know this person, so I don't care if they can't get in their car, even though I'm breaking the rules. And then this person is the same dude that would come out and be like, why is my car getting towed? Why did I make a ticket? I don't get it. I was just parked here for a second. Like, dude, you're not parked in a regular spot. You're parked in a crossed-off spot with somebody right next to you that now can no longer get in their car because you decide to be a total POS. Hey, newsflash. You're not more important than anybody else. In 2014, the Danish government created the entire country of Denmark in Minecraft. It was then promptly destroyed by users and had American flags planted on the ruins. Yep, that sounds about right. It's unfortunate, but can't say I'm surprised. Come on, some of us, get it together, even in the Minecraft world. I got asked out today, and it wasn't because they liked me. No, it was because they and their friends were playing a game where they ask out a boy that they find unattractive. I know this because I heard them playing it one day in lunch while I walked by. I hate this school. Yep, don't blame ya. I mean, this is something that definitely happened even in my own school, and it's just, I just can't believe people go, oh yeah, this is a great idea. Let's just disregard their feelings. Now, when I saw it, it was in elementary school, and I'm not saying, oh, it's excusable, but at that age, you're pretty young and don't really realize that, oh, other people have feelings and this could affect them. But still, you would expect somebody's parents to try to teach them, hey, maybe don't play with other people's emotions. And then this yeah, this is just, it's too much. And hopefully these people grow up and realize, oh yeah, you know what, this isn't a good idea, and this is just them being immature and, you know, in middle school or whatever. And, you know, maybe you get an apology one day. But, yeah, I just, guys, I'm telling you right now, please, don't do this. Teacher's aide staples a piece of paper to a disabled child's head as a reminder. Ah, yeah, what a great way to leave a reminder. I mean, this sounds like something out of some sort of comedy skit. Like, oh yeah, you know what, you're so dumb, you're not going to remember, so I'll just staple it to your forehead. No, dude, just write the note and put it in their backpack and tell them, hey, give this to your mom. Or, guess what, if you do that a couple of times and they still haven't talked, give them a call or something. But at no point should you go, oh yeah, I'm just going to staple their forehead. How does any person in their right mind go, yep, this is a good idea? I don't care how fed up you are. It doesn't matter. This is the profession you chose, and if you can't handle it, then you need to leave and go to a different profession. Because you can't be treating people like this just because you had a rough day. Alright, Modern Chodes, that's it for the hot post from r/I'm a total POS. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. And of course, share this video with your friends. And if you want to help support the channel for free, anytime you have any shopping to do on Amazon, just click the link in the description down below. Do your shopping as regular. It won't cost you anything extra, and it'll help support the channel. So I'd really appreciate it. Till next time, peace.
What is happening? We have internet.
We now have intel inside the Westview anomaly.
What are we looking at here?
It's a sitcom.
Starring Sue Avenger?
I literally live on minimum wage. I'm doing just fine. I don't get why people think you can't. How much, if I may ask? And how many hours a week do you work? How much what? I work from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., Sunday to Friday. So that's 72 hours.